All right, hey guys, welcome back and to another edition of Trail Insight. And today we're going to talk more about running gear. I have with me a pair of shoes that I've been using now for a little while, since, well, I guess it's been a couple months. Got a couple months running in there and a full marathon on it, and probably my best marathon actually. So these are Hoka's Bondi 6s, and I really like the shoe. First of all, I'll start with that. How about we just go over a couple good things and then a couple little gripes I have, and just give you my overall perspective. So Hoka Bondi 6. It's their most recent Bondi, and this thing is padded to the max. It's super cush. It's really, really comfy. I happen to run a wide. I need a wide shoe. Now, the foam on this thing is really, really thick, and that makes for, I feel like long runs, my feet really thank me, kind of saves me, really cushioned. It's got a little rocker profile to it as well, which is kind of nice, not a ton, but a little bit of rocker at the toe and at the heel. I also think that it's fairly flat. There is a drop from heel to toe. I think it's like 4 or 5 millimeters. Don't quote me on that, but it's a fairly flat shoe. You don't have a big heel drop. So if you're into that like zero drop kind of thing, we're close here with this particular shoe. Uppers mesh, breathes great. It's very flexible. It's very, very, very comfortable shoe. Really, really like it for the long runs. Also has this other cool little groove here, which depending on how you plant can affect the way that your heel lands and add to a little bit of cushion, but also stability, which if you're looking for a neutral shoe that adds a little bit of stability, this could be it. The other thing too, for those of us like myself who supinate, which is landing on the outside of the foot, the profile kind of kicks out a little bit to the side. So if you are landing on the outside of the shoe, it will help correct and bring that foot back and centered as you land on your foot plant. So a really nicely designed shoe. As far as things I like, again, I basically like the comfort. I like the lightweight of a shoe this big. It is a pretty massive shoe. And I like the breathability. I like the fit overall. I do have a couple gripes there. So let's talk about a couple gripes. The shape of the toe box is a little bit funny. And what I mean by funny is I feel like it's not super natural. I feel like my big toe sits kind of over here, and that's kind of where I need it to be the longest part of the shoe. The longest part of the shoe sits on I feel like the third toe, which is definitely not the longest one on my foot. So I think there's some better shapes out there from other brands as far as the toe box is concerned. It is roomy enough for me to wear, and it's fairly comfortable, this particular shoe. The other weird thing, again, the super cush, and you sit very high up, and that's got a little bit of an issue for me, is I feel like I'm riding on top of something. I'm not sitting in a shoe. I feel like I'm sitting way up high, and you are with this particular shoe. I feel like I'm riding on top of a big foam board. But if you can get used to that, it feels a little bit different. And then my last one, it's not so much of a gripe. I mean, this thing is super comfortable and very, 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 very cushy. I feel like compared to some other shoes, it doesn't quite have as much spring, and that might be because of how much padding there is. I've used other shoes from Hoka that have felt very springy, and this one feels more cush. And I feel like I lose a little bit of the rebound, that spring coming back to help me outrun. But I still feel for the size, it's very lightweight. I ran that whole marathon and it was great. So super nice shoe. Construction is great. I like the looks of it. I like the comfort of it. It's a nice shoe. Highly recommend it. Hoka Bondi 6.